What's up, everybody? This is time to wrestle with Suplexus. I'm Suplexus, and today I'm gonna provide my review for Money in the Bank. So, this was initially a four-match card, and there are five matches. I'm gonna give you my honest takes on the show, the good, the bad, the downright ugly, the disappointing, the surprising, everything in between. So, thank you for watching my review. I appreciate the support. I really appreciate the support, especially on the Nintendo Switch video. I am not a Nintendo YouTuber, but so much love for that. So, thank you very much. But without further ado, let's get into it with the first match on the show, which was the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We had Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Roxanne, Alexa Bliss, and Naomi. So, my thoughts on this, um, I was disappointed by the match. So, my thing, I gotta put this out there. The wrestlers in the match, all of them are good, okay? I know Alexa Bliss, maybe you could argue, you might like her, you might not, her style. But all of them, for the most part, are good wrestlers, okay? The issue is, I'm aware that they could do good stuff in the ring, but that's all they did. But the purpose of a Money in the Bank ladder match isn't to showcase the moves that you could do. The purpose of the Money in the Bank ladder match is to do spots and do the most crazy things that could entertain people. Last year's Money in the Bank ladder match for the women did that and did that to the fullest extent. Like, you could argue that match was better than both Money in the Bank ladder matches we saw tonight because it had violence. Like, remember Io doing the Michinoku driver to Zoe Stark through the ladder? Remember, like, all these crazy things, Chelsea getting pushed off the ladder in the ring and going through the ladder bridge on the outside. That is what the Money in the Bank ladder match should be. And for this one, they barely even used the ladder. It felt like the match went probably 30 to 35 minutes by the time they were done, because there was 45 minutes into the show. And the only things I could remember was a dull code red on the ladder that took a minute and a half to set up. Roxanne's constantly looking back for it felt like a minute to make sure that Alexa was going to do it at the same time. We had Stephanie Vaquer doing her move to Rhea on the ladder. Yes, the crowd likes that move, but is it violent? Is it like, oh boy, I can't believe they did that? No, it's not. And there were a couple of parts, so don't get me wrong, where Rhea Ripley would get slammed on the edge of the ladder. Not that there was too much of that, but out of everyone in the match, Rhea Ripley took the most damage, which isn't too surprising, I guess, because like she is one of the best in WWE, the best of the best. So I'm not surprised that she took the most, but my issue with the match is it did not feel like a ladder match. It didn't feel like a Money in the Bank match. It felt like six people fighting for an opportunity, and this match could have been fine on TV. But I don't know. There wasn't a real sense of urgency. There wasn't many times where I thought, oh, this person's definitely gonna win. And there wasn't much story in it, from what I remember. Excuse me, sorry. Um, it just failed to deliver on most of those fronts. So I think it's one of the weakest women's Money in the Bank matches in recent memory. I liked last year's a lot more than this year's. I liked 23, the one EO won in London. I remember that one being a little better than this one. And yeah, just disappointing overall. Didn't serve as exciting Money in the Bank match. And it's a shame because it was my most anticipated match going into the show and it didn't deliver. So, the next match on the show was Dominic Mysterio defending against Octagon Jr. This match was set up earlier in the day in the Triple H Triple A show where Dominic got in the face of Octagon Jr. and this match was set up. It went very short. It was under 10 minutes. I didn't see the time for the show exactly, but it went pretty short. And overall, it was a decent little showcase of Octagon Jr. with Dominic retaining in the end. They did everything they should have. They hit all the moves that looked nice, but it was just really quick. Didn't really think this guy was going to win, and that wasn't the purpose of the match. It wasn't supposed to be this match where you thought a title change was going to happen. It was a showcase, and they showcased him. I think they did a decent job overall with this match. I like the Penta one more at Backlash. I like the four way definitely more at WrestleMania. But the job of this was to showcase Octagon Jr. It was to showcase what Triple E could do. I think it did that, and I see this for EW, so I guess see it for WWE too, because I'm fair to both companies. This was made last minute. I don't like pay-per-view matches being made last minute. If you're gonna do 5 matches on a pay-per-view, all of them should be exciting. All of them should have a big story to tell. Triple H, he did this in NXT where you had a takeover, all usually 5 matches on them. All 5 matches would have some sort of story going in and some story to tell within it. So this being made last minute, I'm not a fan of that. I hope it's a one-off, and I hope from now on we get matches with proper build, proper amount of story going in, but decent overall. So the next match now was for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra defending against Becky. If Lyra wins, Becky can't challenge her the title as long as Lyra's champion. And if Becky wins, she gets the title, and Lyra has to raise her hand. I thought what they did here was really good stuff. I prefer this over the Backlash match, definitely. Um, yeah, and the reason I like it more, it felt like it had more of a sense of urgency. Like for the Backlash one, I know a lot of people love that match, but for me, it just it just took a long time to get started. The last 3 minutes were the only thing I was excited about. In this case, throughout the whole match, I was excited. Is it like you could say maybe top 10 women's matches of the year easily? And yeah, I thought what they did was just really good. Lyra and Becky. Um, Becky wins the title in the end with cheap tactics, and Lyra raises her hand after and attacks her. That was a little bit awkward. something didn't feel right about that. It felt like Bailey should have come out there. I'm worried that Bailey is getting thrown to the wayside and she's gonna be forgotten in the suit like that. And I don't like that. I said it at WrestleMania. I said it at Backlash. I really do think they're not treating Bailey fairly enough. She should be in this spot. For the very least, she should be in the mid card. My personal favorite horsewoman out of Becky, Sasha, or Mercedes now, Charlotte, and Bailey. Bailey's my favorite, and she got attacked by Becky. Becky was like, haha, I did it. So I'm hoping she comes back soon and we can get this as a triple threat. Because even though this match was really good, even though it surpassed Backlash in my opinion, um, simply Bailey should be here. She should be in this spot. Make it a three-way, I'm hoping. And this whole thing, I know I had a problem with Becky at Mania, but I understand. I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of wrestling fans understand that the purpose of this is to make Lyra Valkyria a bigger star by the end. She's gonna get that title back against Becky. It's just, does it happen at Evolution or does it happen at SummerSlam? It's a matter of time, but overall, really good stuff. Surpassed Backlash, definitely, in my opinion. So, now the next match. My personal match of the night was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. This is tougher for me to remember. Let's see. We have Solo Sikoa, we have Seth Rollins, we have LA Knight, we have Penta, we have Andrade, and we have El Grande Americano. I did it. I did it. So, in this one, just when like I said for the women's one, I said there that it didn't feel like a Money in the Bank ladder match. It disappointed me. It was not good for being a Money in the Bank ladder match. This was the complete opposite. I thought they delivered very well in the Money in the Bank ladder match. The spots were, for the most part, brutal. With even then, the spots were brutal. Was it like the most violent thing I've seen, like the women's Money in the Bank ladder match last year? It wasn't, but what it lacked in that, it made up for in story. Because as you can see on the thumbnail, we have Jacob Fatu, we have Solo Sikoa, and the turn finally happened. They did it brilliantly, where Seth's faction comes out and they're attacking Solo. Jacob comes out to take them out. It looks like he's gonna have Solo win, but he grabs his leg at the last second. What did Solo say on SmackDown? All the gas, no brains. Who is lacking the brain power to see this coming? Solo Sikoa. Solo couldn't see it coming. Jacob makes Solo lose the match and gives him, I believe, a Uranagi through a ladder. And in the end, LA Knight looks like he's gonna win it, but Seth comes in to win. If I have one complaint with this, it is the decision to have Seth Rollins win. I think they should have given it to LA Knight and JD from New York. That guy I listen to has the same opinion I do. I think they should have given it to LA Knight because he's floundering a bit on SmackDown. He's a bit lost. If he wins Money in the Bank and gets the world title, that rejuvenates his career. That brings him back to the top. before people forget about him. Seth Rollins didn't need this. Seth has been a multi-time world champ. He walked into Mania last year as world champ. He won the night one main event. Is it the biggest main event? No. But he won the second or the third biggest match at WrestleMania this year. So that's a big deal. Um, he didn't need money in the bank. Seth Rollins could just walk into a match against Jey Uso or LA Knight or whoever's the world champ and win with his numbers game. I don't think he needed this. I think LA Knight did. So, with that being said, still my match of the night. A great match right here. And the main event was John Cena and Logan Paul versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. For the beginning of the match, I did not like this match. It dragged on until Cody got became legal in this match. It really dragged on, and I was getting put to sleep by the action, but then it really picked up after. This main event was the definition of the tale of two halves. It went from boring to somewhat exciting, and then we have R-Truth returning. I didn't make a video about it because I don't make a video about news unless it's like huge in my opinion. Um, the R-Truth thing, WWE, they might try to convince you this was the plan all along. It wasn't because I know it. Lot of wrestling fans know it. The Paul Levesque era, the Triple H era, whatever the Renaissance era, that ended in 2024 towards the end of that year. We're in the TKO era. Sure, we have our little bits of that previous one, like the Io Rhea Bianca program going into Mania, like the Roman Punk Rollins program going into Mania. We've had our little trinkets of that previous storytelling that we love, but for the most part, TKO era and possibly the worst thing they did was let R-Truth's contract expire. Look, I don't I don't like seeing wrestlers lose their jobs, especially when we know that they weren't given a fair opportunity to prove themselves. That happened numerous times this year, but looking at the fan reaction, looking at the reaction of the locker room clearly, uh, this was the most tone deaf thing that TKO has done since they've taken over. There have been a lot of tone deaf things that they have done, primarily the creative. Like you look at the creative from last year, from 24, from 23, from the end of 22. It was like 22 is right here. And I'm gonna have this discussion now because I don't know if I'm gonna make a separate video about the downfall of WWE. It's not exciting to make a thumbnail for. It's not exciting to put in the work to make the video for. So, um, 22 was like, man, we're excited for this. 23 to me, you could argue that 24 was a better year overall. I think morale in the company, I think the hype, The trust in the company was at its peak in 2023. We're up here. I think 24. It, the year was very exciting, don't get me wrong, but there was that one kink in the armor, that one little thing in the armor, that one little thing resting. It it was still shiny. It was still shiny like 2023, but you had that little rest of The Rock disrupting things like he did at WrestleMania, like he did at Bad Blood, by choosing to have Cody Rhodes and Roman tag match close over Hell in a Cell just so he could do this and this, and it didn't really have a plan afterwards. So, yeah, that little kink, but we're still at this point. So, 22 was here, 23 was here, 24 was here, but then 25, sadly, just right here, I don't think they've even done half of what they did last year in terms of quality, and we know why. Ever since ever since January 6th or 5th, I believe it was 6th, the debut on Netflix, you could notice, oh boy, this is sorry for all the noises I'm making by the way. This product is not for the wrestling fan anymore. Like we had glimmers of it, but for the most part, it is for TKO. It is for the casual fans, the people that have never watched wrestling before, and they throw all these celebrities at you. They throw all these sponsorships at you, and all all these creative moves were instead of the last 2 years that were about long-term booking, long-term storytelling, like consistently following these characters and having things set up. It might have taken a long time, but you could trust eventually these things will pay off. And we had that trust, and it did pay off. Look no further than the bloodline, than Roman's title reign. Personally, I was happy with it. There probably is some bias because he is the greatest of all time, in my opinion. So I let some of it go, but some people were getting tired. But in the end, even though people had their doubts about whether Roman should have lost to Cody at 39 or not, we had bloodline rules and we appreciated it. Our trust continued for WWE. Um, we were rewarded for paying attention. Drew and Punk, you look at that feud. Uh, it started hot. It stayed hot, don't get me wrong, but there were some things that nudged me a little. I I trusted that we were going in the right place, but it gave me a little, oh, is this the right thing? Clash at the Castle, having him lose in his home country. I thought about it. I was like, yeah, Punk should have screwed him, but was it the right thing to do? And then we had Money in the Bank last year. Drew won it, cashed in. I get it. I get Punk made him lose, but was it the right thing to do? And it turned out to be because Punk screwed Seth and Drew, which eventually exploded into two different rivalries. One of them, which is still going on right now, between Punk and Rollins. So there are numerous times where I was I was like, I don't know about this booking decision, But in the end, from July of 2022, the end of July, when Triple H became the CCO and started running things, from the end of July to the end of last year, that was the case. No matter what, you could trust. But ever since then, I have said numerous times, oh, this is the direction they're going in. Oh, there's no way that they're not going to do this. This is definitely happening 100%. I had expectations just like I did last year that would have gotten paid off last year, but I kept stacking on those expectations because I wanted more, better, better, better from my product. But what did they do? Look, for example, at Drew McIntyre. It felt like he was on a collision course to fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. He went after Jey Uso. He had that feud with Sami Zayn in the beginning of this year. It felt like he was going to go after everyone in the bloodline and eventually get to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and beat him. And I wholeheartedly believe Drew was supposed to fight Roman at Mania, and Drew was supposed to get that big win. Because when you look at what they were doing until the Rumble, it felt like that was where they're going. Then, you know what happened with the triple threat. But there are a number of examples like this. Like, oh, John Cena turned heel. This is going to go somewhere really good. Oh, The Rock appeared at Elimination Chamber. Of course he's gonna appear in the Night 2 main event of WrestleMania. There is no question about that. But it was like, yeah, The Rock's gonna appear. Because of course that's what they're gonna do. Because I have trust in them that they're gonna do the obvious scenario. And then I kept stacking on top. Oh, Stone Cold's gonna be there. That would make it even better. Oh, Seth Rollins is the third man. That would make it even better. And then none of it happened. So it is a serious issue with them. And now it's time for the main event. Like, R-Truth returned at the end, but they fumbled it. They messed up. Thankfully, they course corrected. Thankfully, not because of R-Truth's work, but because of the fans refusing to let them do this, they brought him back. That is the reason why. This was a TKO call to bring R-Truth back. Triple H didn't go up to TKO and say, "Hey, could we bring uh, bring this guy back? You gotta listen to us." This was the whole corporate thing. Triple H can't make that decision to bring R-Truth back. That's my wholehearted opinion. It had to end with TKO for a show like this. It ended in the top brass. This decision to accept him back. That's my opinion. Triple H might have pitched it, but I think it was TKO at the end. That's me thinking. Uh, R-Truth returns. Cody pins the champ. And the question is, does Cody Rhodes get that shot as soon as Night of Champions at the end of May? Or are we looking at the SummerSlam headliner? Knowing WWE, they are going to make this a SummerSlam headliner, probably having Cody Rhodes enter the King of the Ring tournament, even though we pinned the champion, probably having him win that to fight Cena. Who do I see winning the Women's King of the Queen of the Ring? I got a couple choices. I think Rhea Ripley makes sense. Excuse me, sorry. But the thing is with that, uh, Rhea, like, she wants her title shot, of course, because she tried to get the Money in the Bank contract. She wants her title back. She does not have to win. uh, how many people is it? She doesn't have to win a 16-person tournament to get that back. You already said on Raw, hey Rhea, you can get your title shot whenever you want. She could just ask for it and get it. So there's no point in her winning. So my pick, I see Jade Cargill winning and fighting eventual champ Naomi, who I think will be champ by then, or Bianca Belair. I think it's one of those two becoming queen of the ring. So thank you for watching. This is a longer one because of that talk I had about old TKO booking or truth thing. But thank you if you've gotten this far. This has been Suplexus. I'm so grateful if you stuck around until now because I talk a lot. I went on a big tangent. If you're still here, you're one of the true people. You're one of the best. I, I love it. Love the support you're giving. This means a lot because uh, at the end of the video, I have a YouTube studio. I could see the retention, I could see the average viewing base. So if you're here until now, I recognize your support. I see it in the analytics. Thank you so much. This has been Suplexus. Have a good one.